everybody and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we are going to be cooking in collaboration with Unite students. It has been a little while since I've done a cooking related video and I thought it was about time. Whether you are preparing to move to university at the moment, whether you are watching this video in the middle of Freshers Week, or if you're just looking for a few little new recipe ideas, I hope this video will help you out a little bit. Now, cooking for yourself can be something that is quite daunting when moving to university. For a lot of people it might be the first time that they've had to actually cook for themselves every single day. And that can be a scary thought. But I am here today to hopefully settle those nerves a little bit. I'm going to give you 3 of my top favourite recipes that I used to use all the time in first year at university. They are extremely easy and you can't really go that wrong with them, so if you are looking for a little bit of a confidence boost, give these recipes a go and hopefully they can be added to your repertoire. I feel like that is key when you're moving to university. When you're trying something new, when you're beginning to cook for yourself, you need to find recipes that work for you and that give you that little bit of a confidence boost. So talk to friends and family, look up online, find yourself a selection of good recipes that you know you can use. I remember just before I moved to university, I'd say I was okay at cooking. There was a few dishes that I knew how to cook. I would occasionally cook dinner for my mum or friends if they were coming round, but by no means had I cooked myself breakfast, lunch and dinner for anything more than about 2 or 3 days. But it is a learning curve. Learning to cook for yourself is a little stepping stone in living independently, and I can confidently say now that I am an okay cook. I'm happy with what I cook, I try new things, I like to experiment where I can, but I do also have those old faithful recipes that if I come home and I'm shattered and I need something quick and easy, I know it works. So today I'm going to bring 3 of those old faithful recipes back out of the woodwork. Honestly, these 3 meals got me through pretty much the entire first semester of first year and I can't wait to pass them on to you. So let's go to the kitchen. Okay, so here we go. In front of me I have laid out all the ingredients that we need for the 3 dishes. I have a chicken dish, stuffed mushrooms and then pasta. We're covering all bases. These are literally like 3 of my favourite foods. So I nipped out to Tesco and I picked up all these ingredients this morning. If you would like to see a video more in depth about how I do my food shops, little tips and tricks about saving money while you're shopping for food, I have already done a video on that, which is on my channel and the Unite channel. So you can have a look around, and if you're needing any tips or tricks, that video should hopefully help you out. But without further ado, we're just going to get straight into it and we're going to cook the chicken dish first. So the star of the show for this chicken recipe are these Maggie's sheets. Honestly, I think these were probably the best discovery of my entire first year of university. They are insane. I've never tried chicken so amazing as when it's been wrapped up in this. It is so easy and it tastes so good. You can pick them up in a range of different flavours, but the ones that I've got here are the Italian herbs one, which is my personal fave. Very like tomatoey, garlicky, beautiful. So literally all you need to do to cook with the sheets is open up your chicken. I've just got a little pack of 2 chicken breasts here, and these are great for when you're cooking as a student because you can have like one for your dinner and one for your lunch the next day. So literally all you need to do is pull out your little sheets. There are 4 in a pack. You just open them up, pop your chicken breast or mini fillet, whatever you choose, inside and just kind of squash it down so that you're kind of coating the chicken breast with the herbs. And then all you need to do is transfer this little cute package into your frying pan and like cook it until it's done. But before we do that, I'm just going to lay that to the side and do the veg. So I'm going to grab myself a new chopping board. So to go with this chicken, I've chosen to cook it with some rice. I've just got some brown rice here, it's what I had in the cupboard. So I'm going to have my chicken, my rice and some vegetables. I've chosen to have tender stem broccoli because it is literally my favourite vegetable, and some cherry tomatoes. And I'd say that that is a great place to start, especially if you're kind of new to cooking, you don't really know what you like or what you want to cook. If you do eat meat, I'd say choose whichever meat you would like to eat that day for your dinner, and then choose a carb to go with it and then some vegetables. And that kind of covers all bases. You know that you're kind of getting a bit of everything. It is a real old British way to look at things, but you can't really go wrong with meat and 2 veg, and if you shove some rice on the side, happy days. So I've just cut up some of my tender stem broccoli and some of the little cherry tomatoes, and now that's all the prep we need to do. The rest is cooking. So first things first, I'm going to put my rice on to cook. So I've just boiled some water, and I'd say a kind of basic rule of thumb when you are cooking rice is just to go 1 part rice, 1 part water. Honestly, I don't think I've ever met anyone that can get the quantities of rice right, so I've probably just made enough for about 4 people, but we should be okay. And now that our rice is on, it's time to do our chicken. So look how easy this is. Literally all you need to do is put your chicken breast wrapped inside the Maggie's little paper, and that is it. And last but not least, while those 2 bits are cooking, I'm just going to pop the veg into a pan. Now apparently this is the only other pan that my mum has, so we're just going to use this one right now. All I do is chuck in my broccoli, pop in the tomatoes, and then I'm going to just pop on a little bit of olive oil and some balsamic glaze. If you're one of those people that doesn't like balsamic, I highly encourage you to learn to like it before moving to university, because honestly, if you add this onto anything, it's going to make it taste 10 times better. And now this is going to join the chicken. This meal as well is you can literally just put it all onto the hobs and leave it. As long as you've not got like 4 or 5 other flatmates trying to cook at the same time, it's pretty easy. I just have those 3 pans on the hob, and while it's all cooking I can tidy up the mess that I've made. And please do tidy up the mess that you've made, because you do not want to be the least favourite flatmate. Meal number 1 is cooked and tidied away in practically no time at all. Honestly, as soon as I discovered those Maggie's sheets, they became a staple part of my first year diet. And that there is a healthy meal. It is so easy to cook and it takes no time at all. But now we're going to move on to number 2. So for meal number 2, we're going to be making some hummus stuffed mushrooms. Now this is something that I was a bit confused by when I first heard it. I didn't know if I liked the idea of like hot hummus, but it tastes amazing. So I've chosen to go for some quite large close cut mushrooms, but I've done this with like the big flat mushrooms before, and it just entirely depends on kind of how much you're wanting to eat. These are great if you do like 2 or 3 of them for a meal, but this is also a great recipe just to make as a snack if you're having friends round or something. This meal is vegetarian, but obviously if you want to do it a little bit differently, you can use pate inside. You can also stuff it with cheese, which is so good. But today I'm just going to stick to an Old Faithful. This again is such an easy recipe, you hardly need anything at all. All I've got in front of me is some mushrooms, a pepper, some garlic and some hummus to go inside. And then I've got some green beans for the side. So literally all you need to do is take out the stalk of your mushrooms. I'm picking off the kind of outer skin. That's just a personal preference. I also find it really therapeutic, so I do this like whenever I'm cooking with mushrooms. Obviously this is completely unnecessary and you can just like wash the outside of the mushroom, but I just like doing it. So now that that's done, I am just chopping up the stalks of the mushroom so that I can fry them off to go back into the inside. There we go. I'm then just going to take my pepper, and I'm probably just going to use about 1/3 of this because I am only cooking this for myself and I've only got like 2 small mushrooms. I'm not going to use all of it by any means. It's at this stage as well that you could literally add in any vegetable that you wish. And then finally I'm just going to add 1 garlic clove to it as well to give it a little bit of flavour, because garlic is my favourite thing. There we go. I'm now just going to pop that into a little frying pan with some olive oil and some salt and pepper and just fry that off. So I've just popped some kitchen foil inside this baking tray because that saves on washing up and stuff later, which is always a good thing. And then just going to pop in a little bit of olive oil to kind of coat the outside of the mushrooms. You can also use butter for this if you want, but I always find olive oil is just so much easier because it's like already runny. And then to go with our mushrooms, I've just picked up some sliced runner beans because these are honestly some of my favourite things. If I'm looking for something to put on the side of a dish, I will normally look towards either tender stem broccoli or beans. I love myself a green bean, love myself a runner bean, so I'm just going to pop a few of these into a pan, maybe like that much, and then boil them for about 4 minutes. So now that our pepper and mushroom scenario has kind of softened down, I'm going to add in a little bit of hummus and a little bit of breadcrumbs into the mixture. I love hummus, so any excuse to get it into a meal, I'm okay with that. And then once you've mixed it in, literally all you need to do is just spoon the mixture into the little mushrooms. This is also great, see if you just use it as a dip for like some tortilla chips or something. Oh my god, so good. And then this bit is like entirely optional, but I'm just going to sprinkle a few more breadcrumbs on the top of them because I like when they go all crispy. So we're then going to take these and pop them into the oven at around 180 degrees for about 10 minutes. So our beans are now done. I'd say I probably cooked them for about 4 or 5 minutes just to like soften them a bit. Ugh. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of butter and then again a little bit of pepper and some salt. Honestly, I could just eat runner beans as a meal itself. I love them so much. And the last thing I'm going to do for this meal is just cut up some spring onions to just pop on the top. They add a little bit of colour, a little bit of flavour. I'm actually so excited to eat all of this food. Like, I'm going to have the best lunch ever. Of this video, I'm going to be doing a carbonara, and I could probably say this is my favourite. I think carbonara is my signature dish. Like, if ever I'm cooking and I ask for requests, it's always the carbonara. So I'm going to show you guys this recipe. It is probably the most easy recipe ever. There is hardly any prep involved, there is hardly any tidy up required. So first things first, I'm going to cook off some bacon lardons in some butter. I'm going to use this bigger pan here because later we're going to transfer everything into the one. So the bigger the pan, the better. I'm going to just take like a knob of butter. That was probably a bit too much. Oh well. And while they are on to start cooking, I'm going to pop some pasta on to boil. So I actually have linguine here rather than spaghetti, but I'm just going to cook it all. I normally would not use this much pasta, but there is kind of an awkward amount left in the packet, and that was one gigantic garlic clove, so I may as well make this for like 2 and I can eat it tomorrow. So I chopped up this clove of garlic while I was just waiting on the kettle to boil, so I'm now going to pop that in with the pancetta and then we'll get going. Okay, so I heard a slight splat earlier and I couldn't work out what it is, and I've just realised that the egg has rolled off the end of the island onto the table. I mean, something had to go wrong. Like, this wouldn't have gone smoothly, never in a million years. So if one cracked egg is all we're dealing with, that's okay. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Look, it just like rolled off the end of here and landed on the table. Fabulous. So that is us pretty much done. The main waiting game of this recipe is just waiting for the pasta to boil. So while we do that, I'm gonna grab another egg, try not to break this one this time, and just crack it into a bowl. And then the only thing left for us to do is to grate some parmesan in with the egg. And this is what's gonna make our banging carbonara sauce. So now that this is done, all we need to do is wait for the pasta to boil, and then we're going to just put everything into the one pan all together. So we're going to take the pasta, pop it in with the garlic and pancetta, kind of rub that all around a bit, make sure it's soaking up all of the juices, and then we're going to take the pan off the heat and add the egg mixture on top of that, because you don't really want the egg to scramble, but you want it to cook off a little bit. Honestly, easiest recipe about. we have it. These 3 meals have done me so well over my past 3 years at university, and I cannot wait to sit down and have the world's greatest lunch. It honestly gets better every single time. Smashed it. Anyway, I'm away to go and eat all of this, so back to Holly in the studio. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing these 3 recipes. If you do try them out, let us know. Leave a little review down in the comments, tag myself and Unite in your post if you're putting anything on Instagram. And of course, if you do have any Old Faithful recipes of your own, leave them down there as well, because as I said, it's all about bringing together that bank of trustworthy recipes. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please do. Whether that is to my channel or to Unite's channel, whichever one you're watching this on, be sure to hop over and have a little look around. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon with another. Bye!